Hello everyone, I hope you all are doing really well. Saboni this side, and I have come back with another video. So in this lesson, what we are going to learn is how to utilize Amazon Q in your Visual Studio Code and leverage Q to generate certain CloudFormation templates, or it could be a Terraform template, whatever you prefer. But here I'm going to use CloudFormation so that I can create AWS resources quite easily in my account. So let's see how you achieve it. So the first and foremost thing is, once you open the Visual Studio Code, on the left side you will find an extension button over here. So over here you just need to search for Amazon Q. Since I already installed it earlier and then uninstalled just for showing you, it's appearing on the top, but might not be in your case. So you search for it and you will find that it's published by Amazon Web Service. Okay, just you need to click on this install button, and once the installation is done, logo on the left side. So you just need to click on this, and once you click on this, it would prompt you to provide either it's whether you want to use it for your personal reasons or you want to log in through your company account. So if you have a builder ID, then go ahead, log in, but if you don't have, you would need to create one. So just click on the personal account and you click on continue. It will be prompting that okay, it's going to open this OIDC endpoint for completing the authentication and authorization part. And in my browser you will find basically it's asking whether I want to allow this ID extension for Visual Studio Code to access. So in case you do not have an account, you need to create a builder account. You will sign in, and since I was signing in already, it's just asking me to click on allow. So I will go ahead and click on allow access. So request has been approved. You will find this message on the screen and I will close it. You will be getting this prompt that hi, I'm Amazon Q, I can answer your any questions. So what I'm going to utilize for the demonstration purpose here in this case is I'm going to develop like a prompt Q developer to generate CloudFormation template, where I would be trying to create a REST API that has a Lambda proxy integration. So if you come down to the chat section over here, if you open the Amazon Q chat, you will find that you can actually select one of the two models, either 3.7 or 4. So 4 you might observe some low TPS availability, but so if I click on this, you will find that the model has been switched to Sonnet 4. However, like if you want like that your specific use case would be served by model that has a higher TPS, which is a highly available model, for example, which is Claude Sonnet 3.7, you can utilize 3.7. One important thing that I would like to highlight is the agentic capabilities. So there is this toggle button, as you can see on the screen. So what does this mean? So if you turn this off, the model is going to generate contents, and it's going to give you a basic overview. It would generate templates for you, give you the it would generate the things for you, but you would need to create your own file adhering to what it's kind of generating, and you would definitely need to revalidate that, like what it is kind of generating. But if you, as soon as like it was already the agentic mode was on enabled, but if you toggle it, it will be off. So if I turn it on, so it will be again on. So with this setup, now if you pass the same kind of prompt, what it will do with agentic setup on, it would generate the files, or it would directly make the changes to your code that you want Amazon Q to do. So it's kind of you are giving the permissions. So be careful of like what type of, whether you want any agentic capabilities to be enabled in this model, and accordingly definitely you make the changes, you follow what Q is kind of suggesting. Definitely you would need to do some kind of refining and make your make the corresponding changes to your files. Okay, So with agentic coding mode on, what I would do is I will ask Q create a cloud formation template to create a REST API with a proxy lambda integration. The function code has to be in Python. Okay, so if I simply ask it to generate a template for me, so it will directly go ahead, search for the current directory where it is in. So you will find it's kind of in this location, which is a qdev demo folder, and over there it will go and directly create a template. It will also create the function code for you. uh, yeah, so it's kind of asking for the directory creation, but I can instead suggest that add the hello world inline hello world code in line of the template. Say for example, I don't want to create any kind of folder, just for the demonstration purpose, but it will generate a folder if you go ahead and perform the mkdir options of creating the folder, and over there it will create the files. So now let's see what kind of template it has generated, and it would also on top of that summarize that what it has created, and it will guide you, it will give you the demonstration, like the steps as well, like what needs to be done next. So let's revalidate the template that it has created. So I will just go to the files over here and this is the template.yml. Okay, so first of all, it's like properties it is sending global, it's kind of the resources it's basically creating, and you will find it has created a function named proxy function, and the inline code it is using, it's kind of a big like processing the events that it's going to receive from API gateway. And the runtime it has selected has uses 3.9 with architecture style x86_64, and it has also defined a kind generated the corresponding configuration for a timeout and memory size. It's also using a policy, and over here you will find under events API event API type, it's creating a path proxy plus, and it's kind of not creating an API directly, but since it's kind of using the constructs of serverless, basically it's using SAM underneath, you are observing that it has not created any kind of resources directly for API gateway. So it would underneath the implications with it would understand, okay, it is asking for an API proxy integration, and by default it would create it. However, if you find you would need to revalidate it with the documentation, like if any kind of parameters that are being passed are correct or incorrect, because generative AI might generate some contents which might require some kind of modification and change before you fully deploy them in your production or any kind of test environment. So the next thing what I would do is I will simply just copy it, and in my cloud formation stack I'll just go ahead and create a stack, and you can select now, since I have a template I can go over there and directly upload a template, but I would prefer showing you like how you can also use infrastructure composer. So I will click on infrastructure composer, create in infrastructure composer, and over here if I go to the template section, I'll just paste whatever I have copied. Once I have copied it, I will need to validate this. Validation is done. I will go ahead and create the template. and then I click on next. I'm just giving a QDev demo name. It's always suggested, like, you can definitely utilize some kind of CLI configurations to use it, but just for showing you how you would need to do it through console, I'm showing it. Now it will go ahead and proceed with the creation of the resources underneath. So if I go under the resources section, it's first of all creating the function role. Let's see how the creation is ongoing. So you can see that the role has been created, which would be assumed by the function, and it has been provided with the basic permission sets, like it can create log group, it can create log stream and push the events. I will come and refresh, and the stack is created successfully. So in the output section, if I go, I will find there's the API endpoint, which is here, that would directly invoke your function. But let's go to the API gateway console to validate it. So if I go directly over here and I select the API, and let me see the integration, and in the integration, and I can see that this is my function. Okay, this is a proxy integration directly to the Lambda function, and the function code, if I try to see, this is the index.py, and over here this is my Lambda function. So ideally, if I kind of try to access the API endpoint, I should receive some kind of 200 response, and along with that, this response body. So I will go over here, and on the left side, if I go to the stages, and you will see it's kind of invokes this is basically the invoke URL. You will also observe that it has created a stage, name stage. So it's kind of a buggy nature. Sometimes you might observe, in case you are using SAM and over there you haven't specified the API stage name. So it's kind of suggested that you need to create a corresponding API resource, and underneath you specify the API stage. So it would so ignore this for a while. Now just need to copy the endpoint and just paste it. So it's kind of, you're getting a missing authentication token. So there could be interesting, there could be different reason for this error. So let's see what actually I would need to do. So I am actually trying to access this endpoint, and I need a proxy plus resource to be added, which I was not adding. So it's kind of trying to access a resource underneath the root, and underneath root we do not have any kind of method declared. So I need to use this kind of a proxy plus variable. So at the end of prod, I just need to add some variable name, and if I do so, you will observe that okay, I am getting a response directly from my backend Lambda function basically. If I go back to the CloudFormation stack again, just to ensure that you are, since it's a serverless setup that the stack is creating, it might not incur any kind of charges if you are trying to keeping it as it is. If you're only using it, then only it would be you will be getting a charge based on that, but it's always better to delete any kind of resources that you are no more using. So I will go ahead and click on delete. While the resources are getting deleted, I will come back over here. So just to give you another option, like another view of how the expression, how the objective would be, or how the experience would be whenever I'm disabling the agentic coding option. So now if I disable it, and if I just say I want to change the name of the lambda function. So it will try to update the template. What name would you like to use? Say for example, demo function I just gave. So while it will try to update it, but I have kind of disabled the agentic, it would fail in this scenario. And instead of making the changes directly, it would give me kind of a instruction. And so it's going through the template that's already over there, and it has actually renamed the function name, and it will provide the template for me, for the user, and you would need to copy and paste. So it's here, it's kind of a guide that's giving you a guidance. But with the agentic mode on, you're basically setting it in an autopilot mode, and they can directly go ahead and the agent can make the changes to your code directly. So that's all, more or less the demonstration which I wanted to show all of you. And I hope this would be helpful for those who are trying to get a proper hands-on Amazon Q or any Gen AI capabilities that are available, and who are ramping up gradually in the AI ladder. And yep, that's all for now. And if you have any questions, to put your question in the comment section, and really happy to help you, and have a wonderful day ahead. Cheers.